Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft. Joining me right now is Andrew White. He's the CEO of CHAR Technologies. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is YES, yes, on the TSX Venture. And CHAR Technologies will be presenting at our upcoming investor conference, Planet MicroCap Showcase Toronto, in partnership with MicroCap Club, taking place October 21 through 23, 2025 at the Arcadian Loft in downtown Toronto. For more information, register to meet Andrew. Please register to attend at planetmicrocapshowcase.com. And with that, Andrew, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Robert. Good to do an update after a little while here.
Yeah, I was just telling you offline. We last time we did an interview together was in November 2021. Look at us. Look at how we've evolved, we've aged, we've hopefully grown over time, But yeah, look, before we get into the update though and everything like that, listen, there might be a few, it's been a while. So for those that, maybe were familiar or are completely new to the story, can you give us that quick overview of CHAR Technologies?
Yeah, absolutely, Robert. And super quick, because if you want more detail, come see us at the Planet MicroCap conference next week or this week, whenever you end up putting this video out. So CHAR Technologies, our process is called high temperature pyrolysis. So the only thing you really need to take away from that is pyrolysis just means without oxygen. High temperature means like 800, 900 degrees Celsius. And so what we do is on a continuous basis, we process wood waste. So think like used shipping pallets or tree tops, tree limbs from harvesting, or sawdust and wood chips from processing. So we take all these materials, we process it under high temperature pyrolysis. And since there's no oxygen, nothing burns. But what happens is it cracks the wood apart. It cracks it into a gas and into a solid, a carbon. So that carbon we take out and we can use as a drop-in replacement for steel making. It's one of the primary reasons that ArcelorMittal is an investor in CharTech, the world's second largest steel and mining company, is because of that drop-in replacement for metallurgical coal with our biocarbon. And the other is a gas, and that gas we can upgrade into renewable natural gas. And that underpins the project with 20-year offtake agreements with creditworthy Canadian utilities who pay a pretty significant premium because of the environmental attributes associated with that gas. So turning wood waste through high temperature into a biocarbon for replacing metallurgical coal and a renewable natural gas to inject into the pipeline.
Very good. Well, Andrew, so like we said, it's been 4 years almost since the last time we did this update. We're not going to go through all the updates over the last 4 years, but can you give us some of the key highlights for the company from the last, let's say, 12 months or so?
Yeah, and I think the really the most important is the traction we're progressing on with our Thorold project, which is our first commercial deployment. So this, for those who aren't familiar maybe with Ontario geography, so Thorold is right beside St. Catharines, which is straight across Lake Ontario from Toronto. And so in this project, we'll be processing wood waste since it's in an urban area and creating these biocoals and renewable natural gas. So earlier this year, we announced that the BMI Group became investors in CHAR. So they invested $2 million corporately, and they put $8 million into the project entity. And so what that $8 million does is it allows us to now have a fully funded capital cost coverage to build our phase one of our project, which is to make the biocarbon. And so in the interim, since that investment came in, we've poured pads, we've placed equipment, equipment's arriving on site, this week, next week, being installed. And we're on track to have the facility, this phase one part of the facility, fully built by the end of the calendar year. And then leverage that to add in all the components we need to make the renewable natural gas and have that towards the end of the summer into next fall.
Very good. Look, when we last talked in 21 and even in thinking about CHAR Technologies, and you already answered my question about, things that you're working on, from what you can tell us moving forward. So, everybody listen back to his last answer. He covered that, but I mean, to close out here, what have you learned over the last few years with running CHAR, public company CEO, speaking with investors? It's not the easiest story to understand, wait, paralysis. Like, I remember when we first chatted, I was like, huh, Like, wait, what? The
Yeah.
renewables, okay, this, that. What have you learned over the years in terms of telling the story and how best so that, maybe a lay investor or folks that have never heard of any of this stuff before to help them really easily, quickly understand, like, all right, this is the opportunity, this is the story, this is what's going on. Other than, talking with, dodos like me.
Yeah. You know, I've simplified the story for dodos like you, Robert. So, the idea is here that, the technology, you know, I try and simplify it in terms of process, but I mean, really, when you get into it, it's a tube that you put some stuff in, you have some airlocks, and you heat the tube up from the outside. Like mechanically, we're not doing rocket ships or crazy things. Like it's industrial processing that's well established off the shelf. But I think what's important when we tell the story and what we've been working on over the past few years, and now we're executing very much on, is like this is a technology story and a project story, kind of all in one, right? So our Thorold project, our Lake Nipigon project, our St. Philip Sand project, we're bringing in strategic partners, we're bringing financing in at the project level, and these projects are being underpinned by large industrial users who have a high demand for the biocarbon and 20-year premium priced offtakes for the RNG. So this now creates a very bankable project. And so what that all comes down to is at the corporate level, we're not going out to raise, 50 million or $100 million to build projects. The funding is going into the project entities. And so that allows CHAR to be a technology provider, a project developer, an owner in the projects long term, so that ultimately our investors can see the rewards and the benefits from these great contracts and very bankable projects.
Very good. So, Andrew, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on CHAR?
Well, besides coming to the conference, of course, and we'll be at the networking events if you weren't able to register for the one-on-one. So look for myself or Galen. Our website, chartechnologies.com, we certainly do our best to keep the news flow updated there. Over the next few months, we'll be certainly providing the market updates with how we're progressing with Thorold and hitting all those milestones and doing all those things we've told everyone that we're going to do. So those are two great places to continue to learn more.
Very cool. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me today.
And
Really.
I
Oh,
should add,
yes.
yeah, we got a bit of a lag there. Sorry, might be my internet. I'm in Quebec right now, so we'll blame that.
No worries.
The the facility we're also very keen and eager and open to host visitors. So if you do want that site tour, give me a shout, give Galen a shout, through the website or through our emails, and we love to host people down in Thorold and show them what we're up to.
Very cool. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I'll see you in Toronto.
Sounds good. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.